Hi, everyone. Welcome to this new edition of the pre-conference webinar series. I hope you're going to have a good presentation today, that you're going to have lots of good knowledge for you all to learn. So let's get started. Before jumping to the presentation, I always like to express briefly what we're doing in the conference. And let me rearrange something here on my slides. Here it is. Um, we're doing this because there is something happening in less than 60 days. We're having the Selenium and Appium conference in Valencia between March 26th and March 28th. And we have a really good agenda for this edition. This agenda was created basically because we have a range of topics that is pretty good. Some of them are not the usual topics you find in an Appium and Selenium conference. We have things like observability, synthetic monitoring. We have other things around testability in software development. We also have a few talks about AI, which is the hot topic these days. But also we have our set of good talks about just plain browser and mobile automation, which in many cases will enliven you and will give you good set of new learnings and topics that you can apply in your daily lives. We have this really good set of topics and talks because we have a great program review committee and organizers who help us to review over 200 talks that we got as proposals. And thanks to them, we were able to select a very good final set of talks that we're going to have at the conference. And you can already have a look at them at the agenda. So if you head to seleniumconf.com/agenda, you will be able to see them. And the downside of all these positive things is that, we could only select a set of 20 something talks. And this means that there was a list of talks that were pretty good and we couldn't really have in the conference because space is limited, the amount of slots are limited. And that's why we're doing this pre-conference webinar. We are giving the Selenium Conf stage to many people who sent really good proposals, and they are willing to share their knowledge with you all here. If you're interested in attending the conference, you can already register. You can head to seleniumconf.com/register. And if you want to get a 10% discount, you can use the pre-conf webinar discount code to get any of the tickets we have available for you. Today, we have here with us, Shritej. Is going to share with us something that I found very interesting in the proposal, which was a way to combine a tool that is specialized in visual testing, or recognizing images, and mixing it with something like Selenium. So I'm not gonna share a lot of details that were described in the proposal. I'm gonna let Shritej to explain the whole content. So let's bring Shritej to the stage and welcome,
Hello.
Shritej. Thank you for being here.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, so we're gonna have interesting presentation for everyone right now. Before leaving you to start your presentation, you can already start sharing your screen. What I wanted to tell the audience is that please, if you have any questions, write them down wherever you are. If you are in YouTube, then write it as a comment, and we will be able to see them here, and then we can put them on the screen at the end of the presentation. And if you are on LinkedIn, then same thing. Just write your comment. We will be able to see it, and we will put it on screen so we can get to it at the end of the presentation. So yeah, whenever you want, you can share your screen, and I can leave you so you can go over your slides. There we go. And yeah, thank you for being here. The stage is yours. And I'm going to step back for a moment. Thank you.
Yeah, hello everyone. So first of all, I would like to thank you Selenium Conference 2025 organizers and Diego for this pre-webinar series. This is super useful. Thanks for this opportunity and platform. So my name is Shritej. I have around 8 years of experience in automation, and currently I'm working with CrowdStrike as QA Automation Manager. So today I will be speaking on OpenCV and Selenium Fusion. And throughout the journey, we will learn how this can revolutionize our visual test automation. So without any further delay, let's get started. So first of all, let's currently understand the current landscape of browser and mobile automation. So in automation, where more than 80% of us, we use open source, that is Selenium. And inside Selenium, what we do, we generally use locators for identifying the elements like XPaths or CSS selectors. Then the challenge comes with when the content is dynamic, when the design is responsive, when there are frequent UI changes. Then what are the limitations by using these traditional element locators? The fragility of XPath and CSS locators whenever there is change in UI, difficulty in handling dynamic and canvas-based elements, and limited support for visual elements, animations, and image-based testing. So to cut down whole stories short, let's take example. Let's take example where there is XPath something like this, input name equal to Q. Now, if someone changes the attribute from Q to search query, this will break our normal Selenium script, which has identified this particular locator. Or let's take another example. If there is something like ID is equal to username, and if a developer changes this ID from username to user underscore name, our script will break. So how to tackle these problems in Selenium without uh, if even if developer changes all these things, our script should not break. So let's think from a perspective of manual tester. So what manual tester will do? Let's take our previous example. If login button changes from login button to login underscore button, but the visualization or the appearance of login button remains same. So what manual tester will do? They will identify login. Here is a login button, and they will simply click on it, and it will work, and they will pass the step. But in our Selenium script, if we have identified this by XPath or CSS, our script will break and we need a maintenance. Now, in order to solve this, let's start thinking from a tester perspective or from a human perspective. So, what this will do, the solution is to observe the screen like human. So, when we start to observe the screen like human, we can solve this problem. And how this can be possible? This can be possible by using OpenCV and Selenium combination. So what is OpenCV? So OpenCV is open source computer vision library. It offers features like image processing, object detection, template matching, and many others. And it also supports Python, C++, Java for integration. So let our scripts be in Java or Python. It can support OpenCV. So how OpenCV complements the Selenium? It enables image-based element recognition. It enhances automation capabilities for visual and dynamic elements. It simplifies the testing for non-standard UIs like charts, graphs, or let's take example of games and testing of games. So this all can be done by integrating OpenCV into our Selenium. Now, how to set up the environment for this? The prerequisites are Python or Java if you are using Java, then pip in case of Python, Selenium, and OpenCV library. How can one install OpenCV library in Selenium? So they have to just run this command, pip install OpenCV Python Selenium. By running this command, it will install OpenCV library in your Selenium. The next step is to capture the object image. So what is object image? Let's understand while going to one demo website. So for example, we are using this Swag Labs website. So now let's say if I want to click on this particular Sauce Labs backpack. So instead of using locator, what I will do, I will capture the image of this particular area. So that is our first step. Now, once we have that object image captured, we need to capture the whole viewport of the screen. So what is viewport? So if you use something like driver.save screenshot, screenshot.png, this will not work because this will only capture whatever is visible inside a driver or inside a browser. It will not capture our taskbar. It will not capture the tabs of and everything which is visible to screen. So we need to use something different like PyAuto GUI for capturing the screenshot so that it captures the whole viewport. Let me tell you this with an example. I will take the example between two. So this is the type of screenshot which we get if we capture by using normal WebDriver or Selenium code of taking screenshot. It will only capture the whole viewport inside the browser. But if we take screenshot, the whole viewport screenshot, it should include our tabs, it should include this URL, all the browser navigation tools and taskbar and everything. So our aim is to capture the whole viewport, the whole screen which human is able to see. Everything should be captured for a correct representation. So we are going to capture that. Let me go back to, yep. So we have to capture that. So this is our setting the environment. Once this is done, what will be our steps? We will pre-process our object image and screenshot which we have taken. Then we will compare both images to get the match pattern. We will get back the coordinates of the match pattern, and after that we will perform the required actions on the return coordinates. Okay. Now let's do the practical implementation. So for practical implementation, let's I will show you the code directly and explain it. So first of all, we'll import all the required libraries, all default Selenium libraries. We'll import time for pause in between steps for just for our understanding. We'll import CV2. CV2 is OpenCV library. We'll use this for image comparison. Then we'll import NumPy. So what happens when we do some image processing in CV2, it is done on the base of NumPy. So NumPy converts that particular image into a matrix, and in the backend, that two matrices are actually compared. So that's why we need a NumPy for matrix conversion. Then we need PyAutoGui library for screenshot and for coordinate actions. So I have written one method. I will quickly go through this method, what we are doing and how we are doing. So for this method, we will require template path, the path of image, the object which we have captured. This will be generally, let's take example. So I have taken this template image one. So if you observe, this will be the username image, the same which we saw over here. Let me log out from this and yep. So it will be something like this. We will use this website. So if I want to click on this username, I need a snapshot of this particular area. I want to click on password. I need snapshot of this area, and I want to click on login button. I need a snapshot of this area. So that I have stored as template image one. Then template image two will be my password snapshot. Template image three will be my login button snapshot, like that. So getting back, this will be one of our parameter. Second parameter is threshold. So what is threshold? That is not in our general term the confidence, how much the image has matched. So we want threshold of 0.8. That is, if the confidence is more than 80%, equal to or more than 80%, then only our match will perform. Now we will load our template with standard syntax like cv2.imageRead. It will read our template. This will be our template path. Then 0. This 0 is to convert the image which we have taken into grayscale. So for comparison in computers, we need to convert images into a grayscale, that is black and white. For that, I have added a 0 here. So it will load our template image into a black and white. Once that is done, now in CV2, that is OpenCV, they need width first, not height first. And for that reason, we are just flipping width comma height equal to template, and we are doing uh, just flipping the shape. So in general maths, we are doing a transpose of a matrix. So we are just converting height into width and width into height. And this is because OpenCV2 for template matching, they need width first. So this is all two lines processing on the image, the object image, template image, which we have taken. Processing on that particular image is done. Now what we need to do, we need to take a screenshot. So we will simply use PyAutoGui to take a screenshot. So saving screenshot is not generally required. Every time screenshot will be different, and we don't need to save all those screenshots, but yes, I have shared just for showing purpose. Then what we need to do, we need to convert that into NumPy array. Once that is done, we have to convert our screenshot into a grayscale, that is black and white, which we are doing simply by converting our screenshot by using convert color method. And then here comes the main thing, we have to perform the template matching. So how that can be done? So we are simply doing CV2 and using match template for that particular library, that is inbuilt method. We will pass our screenshot which we have processed, converted into black and white. Then we will pass our template which is already processed over here. We will pass that template, and then our this is method. So OpenCV have around 5 to 6 methods. This is coefficient norm method, which will return 1 when there is exact match, and it will return -1, which is opposite match. So that's the reason we need this coefficient normed method. Once that is done, we need a location where that a particular image match is found, and that location will be something like this: numpy dot where it is more than threshold. So wherever there is matching with confidence more than threshold, that is more than 80%, it will return us the location. Now for that location, so it will be having a complete tuple of number of locations where there is a match, but we need only one point, we need only one coordinate. And for that reason, wherever there is a location greater than 0, means wherever it has started, it will be probably a top left corner of our match. So it will be location 1. 1 stands for y-axis and 0 is the first point of y-axis. Then location 0, this 0 stands for x-axis, and this 0 stands for the first point on x-axis. So that will be our top right corner of the location match. And this is our top right corner. Then we need the center of that particular pattern match. So for example, let me show you, this is the image which we have compared with this whole image, the whole screen. So it might have found somewhere here the exact match. And now what we need the center of this particular image. And in order to get center, what we will do, we will get the first point, that will be the top x coordinate, and then we will add half of the width to it. So it will be go towards right till half of the width. That will give us the center of x-axis. Then to get the center of y-axis, we will take the y-axis and we will add half of the height of the image. So it will add half of the height of the image. So this width and height we have got on this step, where we have just flipped them. So we have x-axis and y-axis, that is center of x and y, inside a main screenshot, and now it will return those two coordinates. So that's the whole game which is done by this method. So what this method does in short, it takes our template image, then it compares that with screenshot which it takes on the go, converts, does template matching, and returns the center of the match template. So that is the method, and these are uh, normal steps we all might be aware. I'm just starting with maximize, and I'm going to this demo website. I'm just making sure the website is load. Once that is done, now I will pass the path of image where I have template. So my template is in the same folder. This everything can be organized in a well set. Just for demo purpose, I have kept everything over here. So this is just a template image.png, which is our this image. I'm passing the path. Once that path is passed, I'm using the method which we have written and passing the parameter of the path of template image with coordinate 1 and coordinate 2. This will be x and y axis coordinate which the method will return us. And once that coordinate is returned in this method, I will use PyAutoGui to click on that particular step. Once I click on that particular step, I will just enter the username, and I will just use time dot sleep just to observe. In real scenario, this time dot sleep is not needed, but for demo purpose now, to observe if it is entering or not, I have just entered. Same thing I will do with template image 2. In the same method, I will pass the template image 2. Template image 2 is nothing but our password snapshot. Then once I get the coordinates, I will click at particular coordinates. I will enter the password. I will wait. I will observe. Then we'll use template image 3, which is the login image. Then same process return again. I will click on that particular image by getting the coordinates. Now for demo purpose, let's run this whole script. So in this whole script you have observed, I haven't used any XPath, anything. Now probably the XPath of username, password, or this login, they don't change, they are simple. But this is just for demo purpose. We can simply replicate this scenario for any complicated element, any dynamic element. So for time being, I will just run this script. It will take time to load the WebDriver. Yep, it has loaded. Once web page is loaded, it will navigate to username, enter the username. It will go to password, enter the password, and it will click on login. Yep, login is done. So this is the thing. Now let's consider some complex scenarios. Now in the same web page, let's consider if there is something which is at bottom, like this orange shirt. I want to click this orange shirt, but that orange shirt is not visible now in our viewport. How can we do that? We'll just need a small modification in our script that we need to keep scrolling our web page until it is completely scrolled, and then we can achieve that also. So for that, I just did a small modification in the method. So everything remains same. I've just added one while loop. So it will keep on scrolling until it reaches to the bottom of the web page. So for that, first of all, we'll take this as initial value, scroll height 0. Then same thing. We will do screenshot, array, numpy, convert into black and white. Then we'll get the center of the location. If not, then it will return that element not found, scrolling further. So once it is not able to find a particular element in a particular view page, we need to scroll down. So how that can be done? So we will capture the current scroll height by using return document.body.scroll height. Then it will try to scroll below until we have reached to the end of the page. So if current scroll height is previous scroll height, so this will satisfy when we have reached to the end, and then it will stop. If not, it will just execute scroll by the inner height of the window. And once that is done, I'm just updating this value, and it will again go to in this while loop. So this while loop is just to keep continuously scrolling until we get a particular image. Then everything remains same. So now for demo purpose, let's take this orange t-shirt image. Now we want to find this orange t-shirt, and that orange t-shirt is in the below viewport, which is not directly visible. So what we will do, we'll use same again and again. First template image, second template image, third template image, and then the fourth template image, which is our orange t-shirt. And now let's try this if this works. So it has launched the website. It will enter username, it will enter password, it will log in. If it is trying to find the image, if it does not found, it scrolls and then it clicks. So it has clicked. So this is the way. So the moral of whole story is we need two images to compare. First is the whole screenshot or the whole viewport, including the tabs and everything which is visible to human eye on the screen. And second is object image. Then we are just converting, pre-processing those two images. We are doing the match. We are getting the coordinates. We are getting the center of the match of the coordinates. And then we are simply performing what we want to perform once we have coordinates. So this is the overall things. Now, the question might arise, what in the case of if there is something different mode or headless mode. So in headless, nothing is visible. and what can be done in case of headless mode. So in case of headless mode, let me show you. Same thing can be done with just a slight modification. So if you observe this whole screenshot, the difference between this screenshot and this screenshot is we have this extra thing on our y-axis, on our vertical axis. So just to, let's say, if I want to click on this orange t-shirt, now my center, if I took only a screenshot from this inner area, my center of the screen will fluctuate. So in order to match that, we just need to add some constant. What will be the that constant? The coordinate value of y-axis from top corner of my, from the top line of my screen to this black line, because our Selenium will take screenshot inside Selenium in headless mode. So I have to add, just add. So how we can add that, let me show you. So depending upon the system, like it's Mac, Window, how is the size, that coordinates will vary. There's one time we need to search what is that value, but usually that will be around 200 to 300. And how that we can add, let me just show you. So here for center y, we just need to add, let's say if that value is 220 coordinates, I will just need to add 220. Then it will perform in headless mode also, because this 220 is a constant value which will be there, which by which we are bypassing this much area and we are directly searching this particular area. Yep, this is all about demo and things. Let me go back to presentation. Yes, we have done practical implementation. Yeah, let me know in case of any questions. Floor is open for audience.
Thank you. That was interesting because it was a simple way to get elements from the interaction with a third-party library. Um, so yeah, let me. We have a couple of questions. So I
Okay.
will jump to those first before, because I also have a few questions. But before that, thank you for sharing your presentation, your knowledge, and with all the community. Let's jump to the first
No problem. Thank
question.
you.
First question is if you know what's the Java library equivalent to Pi out to GUI.
Uh, I have tried that. I exactly don't remember the name, but yes, there is a library. I will search and I can add in the comments later. There is library equivalent to biology in Java as well.
Okay, so you can basically take the same approach. There is one
Yep.
question that Nikolai posted, but somehow it didn't show up. I see it in LinkedIn, but it didn't show up here in our software. So we'll put it here as a banner. Just one moment. Um, so the question is, why don't you use the Selenium's actions for clicking and sending keys? OpenCV can return the coordinates and then use them for mouse move and click.
Yeah, nice question. Yeah, I have used Selenium Actions also. It will just add one more library, one more input line. That's why everything is possible using Pivot or GUI. I won't use that, but yes, we can use that, and that is also possible. We have coordinates. We can do anything using any library for mouse action, keyboard action, any other actions.
Got it. Then there is a following question here. There was this part
Okay.
where you were explaining how you were calculating the center of the image. So I don't know if you want to share that again.
Yeah, I will share again. Just a moment. Let me go to the code. Yep. So, first of all, let's understand what our template matching returns. So, template matching does that by matching or by comparing two numpy arrays. So, for each point or each small coordinate or each small, we can say on each small point on the screen, we have x axis and y axis. And we also have a tuple on the first x-axis, y-axis of the location, which is match. Then we have second point of x-axis and a y-axis. But in OpenCV, this is something in different way. So this is something like the location. So which location we want. So everything is done in the comparison in tuple in OpenCV. So which location we want? We want location of first the y-axis, the vertical axis. Which location? The first location, the first match. So let's say on y-axis, our first match happens. Let me go to the image. Yep. So this is our y-axis. On this y-axis, let's say on this corner of U, our first match happens. So we want this upper left corner. So for that on y-axis, which I should be having the topmost or the first match. That's why the 1 stands for y-axis and 0 stands for the first match. Similarly, 0 stands for the first parameter of LOC, 0 stands for x-axis, and then second 0 stands for the first match. So y-axis first match and x-axis first match. So this is my top left corner matching. I hope this explains.
Yeah, I mean, if you have more questions, you can also engage in LinkedIn. The question comes from
Yep.
was written in LinkedIn. There is another question here that says, "Nice presentation." So acknowledging the quality of the content. Does it support remote WebDriver?
Yes, it does. So I have tried this on Jenkins and other. I've also tried this in Playwright using Chromium. It does support.
I guess the question is because if you're using remote WebDriver, the browser is in a remote machine. So
Yep.
you need to have OpenCV installed in the remote machine as well. But how do you execute the remote commands? Because um,
So if our driver is remote, eventually our script will be also be there present in order to launch that and in order to run that. If script is there, libraries are there, it will work.
okay, I guess Murthy can follow up questions in LinkedIn. Let's move to the next one, which I think it's a question I had in my head while you were presenting. The solution to the problem is quite promising. I am thinking about the execution time. For a limited set of tests, the execution time isn't impacted that much. But what if a large set of tests is executed?
Yeah. So yes, definitely it will impact time, but the smarter way will be we will not use all the time this image matching for all the elements. Whenever we feel the image is the element is fragile, will change, element is not stable, the XPath and locators are not stable. In that case, we'll use, and we can use always a combination between XPaths and this image. That will save us time. And I have used time dot sleep just for observation purpose. If I remove all those time dot sleeps, it will be fast again.
Right. I think that's important what you're saying there because this approach doesn't mean you have to use this. Uh, like you don't have to use OpenCV for every single locator. So you
Yes.
can mix and match and see if you have locators that are more prone to change, then you can use this approach. It's not a solution that you have to use for every single um, yeah locator. Um, Thank you. I like the answer. Um, there is another question here that says, in if you do full screen comparisons, do we have any option to ignore dynamic content using OpenCV? This is a question that comes up often when visual testing is done.
So dynamic content, in sense the pop-ups and all those things.
Yeah, for example, if you go to Amazon, right, and you land on
Mhm.
the home page, you will see content that is changing, and I guess they're wondering how you can ignore that section. have. I can imagine why they're asking, but I mean, I just what do you think about the question?
So we need to think in the same way like how human eyes will do in that case. We need to think in the same way that we need to wait. We need to wait and search again and again. We can use something like cross image if there is anything in try catch, something like that. So however the human does, we need to think in the same way to get the solution.
Yeah, what I was thinking is that I mean, your presentation, your approach, the solution is to find elements, not to make visual
Yeah,
comparisons. So you're using a visual tool to find the element. And I
yeah,
think the question is around visual testing, like how can I use this tool and then ignore in regions, which I think it's out of the scope of the tool. So I that's what I understand. Um, Someone is commenting, very nice presentation. So also acknowledging the content. Um,
thank you.
Let me look for because there are a few more here. Can we use this OpenCV for window image automation? I guess I don't know. I don't understand the question so far. Do you understand it?
I guess window image automation, I guess out of Selenium or out of web browser, yes, we can use. We need that particular libraries where we can take screenshot and we can interact with that particular elements outside the browser. We can.
Yeah, because I guess the OpenCV takes a screenshot of the host machine, so whatever it can be seen, doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, One more question: how would you deal with websites built in Angular JS? Um, Well,
So
I think
how does manual tester deals in the same way, or how does it observes to human eye?
exactly. So it's just a regular website. One more question: can we execute the same script on different screen resolution?
Yes, we can. But the resolution while you are taking the screenshot and the resolution while it is executing should be the same. Let's say if you are taking the screenshot on full screen and you are changing the resolution, doing something one fourth, and then running the script, it might fail or it might pass also. But for the best results, the time when you are taking object screenshot should be the same the resolution where you are running the script.
Got it. The next one says if this approach of locating elements can be applied to mobile testing with Appium, for example.
It all depends on the tools and things we are using. But I haven't tried it personally, but I think it can be applied. I'll be happy to research in that and we can connect later. But yes, it can be what I think.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure. There will be some challenges there because I guess you want to interact with the device itself, and 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 I don't I think there will be some challenges there. And there is one comment again from Nikolai. I guess the idea is to get your opinion on it. The main use case for such solution would be verifying some canvas elements or graphical content that is static, and it's hard to validate using standard Selenium WebDriver approach. So I guess the idea is to see what, what your opinion is behind this statement. I think I think your connection is lagging. Maybe that's why you look frozen. But yeah, let's wait a bit to see if the connection comes back. Um, for now, we don't have any more comments. Yeah, the connection is not. Let me, okay, good, good. All right, let's wait a moment. Okay, Back.
Hello.
Yeah,
Sorry, there
now
was a
you're back. Now
glitch.
you're back. Yeah, there was a moment where you were. So there was this final comment,
Mm-hmm.
um, which I was wondering if you wanted to give your opinion as well. Did you did you have a look at it?
Yes, yes, this will be the main use. Any use case where there are canvas-based elements, or this can be a use case in case of dynamic changing elements, some graphical elements, or anything like games where the background changes. Yes, this will be the use case.
Got it. Yeah, I think I agree. That's what I was thinking as well. Okay, we don't have any more comments so far. If you have any more questions, please drop them right away. If you don't, and maybe you have a question for later, you can also write them as comments because we're going to have a look at them afterwards and we can continue the conversation either in YouTube or in LinkedIn. There is, I think there is a clarification in one question about the Angular one. Let me try. I mean, I see it in LinkedIn, but I don't see it here in StreamYard. So let's wait a moment. The question is clarifying about Angular JS elements. So how to deal with finding UI elements that are built with Angular JS because these elements are dynamic. Um, let me put the question here so everybody can see it. There we go.
How to deal with finding elements. The elements are dynamics. Actually, don't get context. Are dynamics? What does it really means? The thing is, yeah, Diego, you want to add something?
No, I was just thinking. My guess is that if you click on something and then you're waiting for something to pop up, like maybe a new text field or a new label, then you probably need to take, I don't know what approach you need to have, because if the element is not static, it's not there, you probably need to take a screenshot. If it's not there, then you have to try it again. So some sort of a wait, and in the
Mhm.
wait you have to take the screenshot again to see if the element is there, I would say. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think.
Also, we can take continuous screenshots, and whenever there is a match, we will stop taking screenshot and we will do the action. Something like that might be helpful.
Yeah, I would say so. um, all right, I think that was the last question we had. So thank you for the presentation. I see from the questions and from the comments that people really liked it, that found the insights interesting. So I'm happy to see that because that's the main purpose of this pre-conference webinar series. Can you
Yeah,
stay in the
same here.
background? I just please stay in the background, and then we can have a chat later. But yeah, thank you
Okay.
for being here. And if you have some final words to close your presentation, please go ahead.
No, thank you, Rio, for attending, and thank you for Selenium conference and Diego also for this platform. This was the main motive to share the knowledge and to learn from everyone. If anyone has any questions, we can connect on LinkedIn and discuss if there is a learning opportunity for both of us. Thank you, everyone.
Cool. Thank you. All right. So I just wanted to circle back on the beginning of this webinar and give context for the ones who joined late. Um, the reason for this webinar is that we had so many proposals for the conference that it was just a shame to leave some out without the opportunity for the speakers to share their content, their knowledge, their experience with the rest of the community. We have in the conference several talks across all these very good topics. And it's just thanks to this review committee that we were able to grab a good set of talks. But the one who didn't make them and they were pretty good, they are now part of this pre-conference webinar series. You can check the agenda that is now live at seleniumconf.com/agenda. Have a look at it. And if you want to join us at the conference, you can register, and there is a 10% discount code called pre-conf webinar. So we're looking forward to see you there. Again, I want to thank Shritej for the presentation today. Several comments were very interesting, very engaging, different approaches and different perspectives, which is really good in the community to share knowledge and share ways to solve similar problems. So thank you again. And thank you to you all who were here in the webinar. If you have any questions, any suggestions, any feedback, please send us an email to organizers@seleniumconf.org. Thank you for being here. Have a nice rest of the day and a nice weekend. See you in the next one. Bye.